Good morning. How are you? Well, it's beautiful out. It's going to get warmer. Gotten Holly and my stepdaughter out yesterday. We ate way outside, away from people, and it was as hermetically sealed as was possible. But it picked up Holly's spirits to to be able to move about. So this is Sunday, and this is the day Jesus wants you to get your guns. No, I'm not making that up. It's not my opinion. There was a woman in Fairfax once. I had a conversation with her. This is some time ago. And she had a holster, and it was in the form of a cross with her gun in it, you know? So some people are comfortable with that. And for those who said, oh, we won't have another shooting, we've had several since the Texas melee. And in the city of brotherly love, 3 dead, 11 were wounded yesterday. So apparently we haven't figured out how to do this. The Democrats are on the Hill selling us short, which is interesting. Right after the president says a ban on assault weapons, smaller magazines, red alert signals, those kinds of things, we have Murphy on the Hill saying, in these intense negotiations we have, what are we going to come up with? Things on school safety. Yeah. You know what school safety means? School safety means that a guy doesn't have an AR-15 going in shooting up the hallway. That's what safety means. Also, they're going to spend money on mental health. When did they figure this out? There was a period of time when I was what they call a special justice in Virginia. And what I did was I sat as a judge on civil commitment hearings. And, you know, some of these people suffer from such dread. And what I did find is some would come in, usually schizophrenics, and but for the medication they couldn't afford or didn't have, they would be fine. And so often we released them, we didn't confine them, because the medication they got in the waiting period of time before it comes before the judge set them normal. And it was remarkable to read what was said about them as they presented themselves for the commitment, you know, usually compelled, and although it could be voluntary, and it could be voluntary after appearing before a judge, and how they appeared on the day that we hold court with medical personnel, defense counsels assigned, and so forth. So we already don't spend anything on mental health. We discriminate against people who have any mental health challenges. People are embarrassed to lose their job or their society by the fact that they confess or admit to any mental health. You have to be, I guess, a Hollywood star in order to do that. But that's not the solution. You know, putting iron walls in a school, locking all the doors but one, you know, it's sort of like if he gets in, then he can kill at will. And any person who comes upon a fellow or woman with an AR-15 and thinks they can reach for their PPK and be in a fair combat, having no body armor, and being, say, a school teacher, well, that's as ridiculous as these people are. You know, imagine no Jacket Jordan as the chair of the Judiciary Committee if we lose these midterm elections. Now, that's something to think about. Now, so I think this is one of those situations where it really helped if the Democrats would follow the president and stop bargaining away the things that might work and have worked in the past for things to say, oh yeah, we talked about mental health. We thought about this problem with kids, even as they continue to die while these guys are yammering away on a recess rather than being in session and voting for these changes. Well, enough of my happiness about Congress. Putin, meanwhile, says he's going to escalate his attacks on the capital of Ukraine if they continue to take the longer range missiles that the United States is providing them. For my money, as you know, we should have been more involved because Ukraine could win this. But basically what we're hearing from Zelensky is that they're losing ground and we're not going to get in there quickly enough, no matter how many generals or former generals come forward and say, put planes in the air, even if they're MiGs, something that the Ukrainians know how to fly. So that's a miserable choice as well. What else we got going on? Well, one of the things that I find distressing is while I was on with Ari on Friday night, at the same time, they were letting Meadows go and Scafino go, meaning they're not going to prosecute them for their usurpation of the congressional power to investigate the attempt to overthrow the government in a coup on January the 6th, and the role that the chief of staff to Trump and his deputy played in that ongoing affair. And you don't have to take a position to say you were in contempt and should have produced and should have spoken and so forth. Now, what do you think the chances are that these two guys are cooperating? I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because they arrogantly believe in their hubris and their notions of monarchy that what they're doing is going to return Trump to power, and he'll pardon them for all the things they've done. Some America, huh? In the meantime, going back to guns, there's a potential lawsuit against the manufacturer of that gun. Good for them. I hope they bring them down. I hope they bankrupt them. I hope they close them out. And we need more of these across America. That is to close down this attack, sure, on children, but on everybody else. You should be able to go into a store, visit your child at a school, be in an open park, go to a meeting of the local school board, and not have to worry about some schmo coming and shooting off your arm or killing you. So, here we are in my cathedral of trees. Sorry for all the good news today. Talk to you soon.